Oke. Baca HP dulu. Was control, ngecek lah. Oh, bisa diganti ya. Continue. Balik lagi. Adik kasus penculikan ibu hamil. Alright. Udah jenuh. Water. Ini aku di mana? Ini misi yang mana pertanyaannya? Cash. Apa yang ini? Oh, si ini ya. Ngobrol siapa? Siren Song. Banyak banget cash gue. String teori, Wireless Love-nya belum kelar. Nah ini learn more of the camp of good the bad. Ini sketch kayaknya nyari di Cordona. Ini suruh nyari di buku ya. Buku yang bisa kita cari ada 3, 1, 2, kayaknya 3. Nyari kasus ini ya, siapa yang pembunuhan. Oke, kita camp dulu kita. Campnya di mana sih? Pembunuhannya gue lupa. Oh, di sini ya. Ini bukan sih. Bukan, ini pillar of knife. Gue lupa bunuhannya di mana ya? Di bawah ya? Kok aing lupa pembunuhannya di mana? Old City Bridge kan yang orang mati. Taruh dasing udah kantor polisi. Hey, you like some camp? Okay, the man found the dead inside Befu's camp. Tattoo his neck horizontal. What's the point top? Yang kita cari ini. Crimes districtnya nggak ada dong. Young woman by the bottom mascage to be sure with. Tidak ada di sini. Itu bukan di sini dong. Haya. Salah tempat. Tadadada. Kita ke tempat pembunuhannya lagi deh. Gue lupa bunuhnya di mana sih? Di sini kan? Nah, ini review scam. Ada evidence sebelum kelar. Kita sambil makan poki. Potong tipisnya yang atas. Alright, where is it? Bukan sih. Oh, sono ya. Salah. Sini ya? Oh, benar. Inspector.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You still here?
Ha. Provided evidence. Gue mau nanya yang masalah ini.
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about...
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scalario. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right? I've already told you all I've learned. 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 Your problem, not mine. I've already told you all I've learned.
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads.
Alright. No evidence. Oh ya, ada yang harus dicari di buku, banyak ya harus cari di buku. Nah, ini dulu. Lost memory belum? Nah, coba. Coba belum keluar tempat ini.
Sherry, wait. You might want to settle.
PDNDM.
Probably won't be coming back here anytime soon.
Jadi gue harus nyari sesuatu nih di sini nih. Berarti ada barang yang belum ketemu di sini.
May I ask you something? Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Nah, jadi gue harus nyawa jadi polisi di sini. Cuci pakaian. No dong, yang lebih bertingkat.
Can you satisfy my curiosity? Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this. Help me, please. Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying
What is that? Apa nanya ini?
these people on purpose?
Help me, please. Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
Kostum sangat kuat ya. Ada lagi. Wah. Apa evidence di sini belum? Oh, udah dong. Jatuh. Apa evidence belum kelar?
Excuse me, just one question. A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Iya, Mas, nyari pembunuhan yang kemarin. Kita udah ketemu si cewek hamil. Si Nala namanya, kok. Nala. Naila. Siapalah itulah. Di sini nih orangnya nih. Yang cewek hamil. Kita dapat fotonya. Terus aku mau keluar, keluar sama John.
There are still matters we can settle before leaving the camp.
Oh.
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
Tadi nggak diizinin keluar sama John. Berarti sesuatu sih mereka tinggal di sini. But I don't know. Bodoh lah. Paling kerja sama John doang berkurang. Dadah John.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
It's a shame we didn't learn more about that scheme the guards were talking about. The corruption in Cordona flourishes once more.
We simply don't have time for this, John.
Anjir.
We need to proceed with the case.
Lagi bahas masalah pembunuhan, biasa-biasa gue suruh nyari masalah korupsi anjing. Berarti ada yang disogok polisinya. Habisannya. Yang begini nggak bisa dibiarin. Tapi udah gagal. Cordona. Wait, ganti kostum lagi. Ganti ke Sherlock. Biar mesinnya pas lah. Of course, punya.
Have you found anything helpful?
Nah, gimana ya? Oke. Tentunya ya. Cuma nggak tahu anak-anaknya bakal muncul bareng nggak, bakal main bener nggak. Kurang orang soalnya. Britney. Paling kalau enggak main seadanya. Wait, what the text? NNeo sih. Kayak dia masuk ke ini deh. Apa no mau ikutan? Kayak bukan daerah sini deh. Alright, you can. Ini ya masalah apa ya di sini ya? Kok gue bisa ke ruangan Thomas gara-gara apa ya? Gue lupa deh. Oh, yang masalah barang hilang ya. Kayak masuknya ke Police Line ya. Nicolo main dan nggak ada apa-apa.
May I ask for your assistance?
Excuse me? What?
I'm not sure I know. Insyaallah, lihat besok
Have
aja.
you found anything helpful?
Excuse me, just one question.
Sorry, but I never heard of this.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what? And dressed as what?
Kayak Badospop nggak bakal kelar-kelar nih. Gua siapa nyomat. Facebook ini apa ya? Buku yang ini coba. Mana toko bukunya? Gue lupa. Iya, di sini.
Good luck, Mr. Holmes.
Nggak tahu deh. Businessman. Ada jam segini mah. Artis semua udah ada. Ternyata coklatku patah. Banyak inspektor kah? Ngerti ngobrolin ke orang berarti itu. Hadiah kemarin lomba aku dapat tepung di badan. Dapat tepung di badan dan di muka. Bisa. Smuggling officer, inspector. Coba-coba ini apa sih? Skala dikit, saya pikir berarti bukan officer dong. Bingo. Alright.
An impressive slice of life.
Nicolo Balakota. Ini
Police
karakter
had a lot on
bro.
him, and at the same time, nothing at all. Amateurs.
Kabinet Indo. Ini di mana lokasinya? Antarin lokasi itu, lokasi nanti. Yang dapat tadi emang buat anak-anak doang. March appoint Cordona within own cabinet City Hall. Berarti ke City Hall deh. Ke City Hall lagi, ini City Hall kan deh. Lomba remaja tuh mulainya siang sampai sore. Siang lanjut sore. Udah buat seru-seruan doang sisanya. City Hall. Janjian gue ganti pakaian. Thomas Norton lahir 1840 di London, lulus di Oxford 1864. Anjay. Start working di Home Office, take position military. How is the Queen answer? March. Witness. Enggak, kalau kan remaja gang itu hitungannya ya, bukan ini. Yang ikut tuh lombanya cuma lomba kecil-kecilan kayak apa? Kayak apa tuh? Lomba apa tuh? Kayak oper tepung. Apa nih pakai apa dong? Oper tepung, rebutan bangku. Baju tentara. Oh, dia. Astoge. Ternyata dikira itu si John anjir. Ternyata ini orang ya. Kukira tadi yang nyendir situ John. Matanya nih. Didn't sleep last night. Ha, lu begadang lu ya. No time to save. Nggak diurus dasar. Oh, medali. Will warm never. Gak pernah dicopot. Kok ada darah di tangan lu? Wine? Ah, di bahu.
Why are you staring at me like I'm a
Tadi
man
aku
with
kira kan situ,
swords?
ini ada John.
Didn't you hear what I
Makanya
just
aku
said?
bingung nih, aku
You
kapan
blame
aku pernah
yourself
ke
for what
ruangan
you did.
ini.
Won't be any good unless you confess to me, so I'll try to be polite.
What sort of did are we talking about?
Are you
from the
press?
I'm here because of
Lo nggak liat
Nayla.
dandanan gue?
You don't remember her name.
Lad, if you won't tell me why you came, I'll call for someone here to sort you out, if you get my meaning.
Show the
Do you
photograph.
recognize this man?
We definitely look alike. But you have the wrong person.
Really? Then you won't mind if I pass this along to the newspaper.
All right. All right. Is
Tahu
this about
teman.
money, as you said in the letter?
Dasar pers aja korupsi.
What kind of sum are we talking about?
I've never written a single word to you. Bribery, not my style.
So, that letter, it wasn't from you.
Well, it appears that more and more people in the city are finding out about your despicable hobby, doesn't it? You're in the clutches of justice, and very soon they will squeeze you. It's in your best interest to cooperate.
Jadi pers aja
I
korupsi.
suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But
Gak
out of
boleh, ntar
respect
tiba-tiba
for
gue
you,
diracunin
I won't
kan
drink
mati,
either.
kasusnya gak jadi
Respect.
kelar. Game
It's
tamat.
an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas
Thomas
Norton,
Norton.
a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
Banyak nih pertanyaannya. Who's
You
blackmail?
mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course.
Duit,
What else do such people want?
Semua karena duit.
Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
What?
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
Lah, Estella nggak iya juga ya?
Rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in
Taruh
an
di sini.
exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman?
I would
Tata.
never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
Bentar, oke. Sore ngechat. Besok aja. Kita iniin SL-nya dulu. Tumben SL nggak kerja. Sabar ya Sherlock. Ngurus SL dulu nih. Cloudbot on. Sip. Baru saya nyala sekarang. Coba lagi.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in
Nah,
such a
udah kerja lagi
situation.
kan?
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
Langsung wangi dia, langsung dapat 84.
Boniface
Parah.
Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad.
Kok ohnya lu kayak nggak
You don't think
sedih
that I
ya?
have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio.
Well,
Mercutio.
yes, I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
Believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt.
Siapa yang kita tolong? Ibu hamil atau si ini? Tapi ibu hamil ditarik-tarik ya. Kayaknya aku lebih ingin menolong Naila.
Naylor deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra
Ya,
attention to her.
dia nyuri
I would do
juga.
anything except that.
That's not all.
Cuma bukan dia yang katanya dia bukan dia yang ngelakuin pembunuhan itu.
Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that.
Biar pamerannya nggak laku kayaknya.
Will you give me the photograph now?
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Apa tiba-tiba main peles anja? Oh, main peles yang ini. Nicola Banadito. Kita nyari ginian sekarang nih. Main place. Oke, dapat satu. Dapat dua. All evidence complete. What? Cuma satu evidence idenya anjir. Belum, nggak mungkin. Tidak mungkin semudah itu, oke?
I take your point.
Kita harus nyari ini, Nicholas. Siapa sih Nicholas? Pasti cuma satu evidence kelar kan? Tidak mungkin. Tidak mungkin semudah itu, oke? Gue capek nyari-nyari cuma satu kesimpulan. Masih minimal ada dua. Nggak mungkin cuma satu. Oke. Masa kasusnya berbelit-belit kesimpulannya cuma satu? Daerah mana deh? Southeastern Scaladio, Bazarit, and near crossing with Roman. Scaladio apa? South. Bazarit. Apa sih? Bazaar Road near crossing with Roman Road. Bazaar. Where is Bazaar? Bazaar kan di south katanya. South ke bawah kan? Where is Bazaar? Bazaar. Hamburg, Dart, Queen, Crow, Skull, Bazaar Road, Cross. Ada kejebatan. Cross dari apa dia? Cross Roman. Nah, di Old City jadinya dong. Roman Road mana Roman? Roman Road. Mana keikutin Bazar cuma ini doang nih. Saat di Bazar. Di sini lo tempatnya. Where is it? Ini ya. Yes, betul. Oke, kita ke sana. Jangan ada kasus lagi di sini. Apa dia mati lagi sih? Udah 3 orang berarti yang mati di sini. Sampai here. Where is the curse? Ya, suruh ke curse. Apa yang ini? Bukan. Berarti di sekitar sini ya. Patah-patah. Kaget. Apaan? Kok guci pecah?
Alright, no sign of a hint. The vase was broken recently though. Perhaps the vandal left.
Apa benar kalau apa hidden coin? Ini hidden coin doang, cok. Kasar, astagfirullah. Kasar. Kirain apaan? Bukan kesini. Tokonya mana? Main office, southeastern Caldio, Bazaar Road, near the crossing. Near crossing? Sini dong, bener. Apa di sini? Kayak gue salah jalan. Crossing sini dong. Here? Yes!
It
Bingo.
seems they're not expecting guests.
I won't wait for an invitation, John.
Dikunci, berarti ada pintu belakang. Selalu ada pintu belakang. Pakaian gue jangan pakai pakaian ginian. Yang pastinya bakal ada pembunuhan kayaknya di sini. Not here. Pintu yang kanan. Oh, ada dia.
Excuse me, just one question.
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
Bukan ding. Ini ngobrol ini yang coy testimoni.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Oh, I'm sorry, but that's beyond my knowledge.
This isn't working. You might need a different tack.
Oh, here.
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp. Shipped from Cape Town. The wine route from colony to colonies.
Ini evidence-nya nih, kita harus cari di sini. Ada apa aja?
An essential remedy against
Lemon.
sea scourge on any ship.
Kenapa ada banyak lemon anjay?
That's our way in, Sherry.
Ini pasti jalannya nih. Kayak udah ketebak itu jalannya.
Do you know anything about this?
Are you looking for trouble? 'Cause I can find you some.
Langsung aja ke sini, ngapain takut-takut sih? Aku mau masuk.
Hey yo, this is private property. You
You lost something.
Good day, sir. I've been sent by City Hall to see Mr. Bernadotte about...
Mr. Bernadotte isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotte's best interest to...
1.
White. Itu John ngapain di Hit him.
Well, this has been miserable.
Sherlock, think.
Anak
We
buah
know what
Thomas.
fellows from the gang look like. You can eat.
Get out.
Oke. Berantem kita. Mampu lu.
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
Ditabok leh. Perang lagi dong. Ya bener bakal ada pembunuhan di sini. Kita pembunuhnya.
I'm coming for you.
I thought we were against murder. No, you killed him.
Mana lagi? Sini dong.
Hey, you could have kept him alive. No, you killed him.
Sini lo. Moskow udah bagus nih, ya. Jangan macam-macam lu sama gua lu.
I thought we were against murder.
Wait, aduh kena. Sabar dong, heh.
Trying to knock. No, you killed him. You can overcome the brute now.
Weh, shotgun.
I thought we were against murder.
I'm coming for you.
Hey, the snuff's ready.
Gocek.
I thought we
Mati lo.
were against murder.
Ya kan, pembunuhan. Encok tulangnya.
Sherlock, you could have avoided this bloodshed. You're neither a judge nor an executioner.
Disuruh nggak boleh nggak bunuh kita. Badak. Nggak peduli. Pintu masuknya mana?
Sherry, look. This seems
What?
familiar.
Ini topeng
Masks,
ini ya.
traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa. A Dogon statue from West Africa. A century old at least.
Panggilkan dokter, tapi bukan untukku.
This is what lies behind
Dan
the
mereka semua
facade of
mati.
Bernadotte Company Limited.
Alright, smuggle. Lu siapa? Kaget tiba-tiba ada orang. Ini lukisan.
Let's see what's hidden there.
Oh, ini lukisan yang dicuri ya.
Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
Wahyu.
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
Long time
It's
no
all right.
see you.
I won't harm you.
Like you didn't harm the folks on the way here.
Ya maaf, yang di luar udah pada mati. Ada lagi. Lagi nggak di sini?
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
No one will find your body. Dia ancam nih.
Keep standing in my way and no one will ever see you again.
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse...
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
Itu fotonya dosa ya, maaf. Bukan bang, bukan gini horor. This is Corona Chronicle. Brown pack, zipline. Fotonya dosa emang, nggak boleh buka foto gituan. Ada pintunya banyak banget. Oh enggak, bukan pintu yang itu berarti. Assalamualaikum. Absen tuh.
This is it. This is where all the magic happens.
Lu mau ngapain, lu mau maling? Akunting di situ, ha?
Please don't shoot me. I have a family.
Santai, gua gak bakal bunuh cewek. Selama dia gak pakai senjata. Legal bill. Ada kertas harusnya di sini. Invitation.
Spare me. Spare me.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. And come here, and we shall talk.
Foto cewek. And what is this? Quiet collection, buku. Okay. Nggak ada hubungannya.
Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
I hate you, observer. Wah, ini nih yang bikin korannya. Oh, tatonya dada. Iya, tato sebelumnya 2 ya. 2 garis ya. Tinta. Doesn't show dirty word. Pergelangan tangan. Petepelag pistol. Cincin. Udah nikah. Jangan-jangan dia ketuanya ya? Nicola Baradito.
The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes.
And you're
are
Nicola
Bernadotti, a smuggler, kidnapper, and
Bernadotti.
notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
Your man.
As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact,
Yang belakang enak banget nyemok loh,
it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man
Yang
had
belakang
with
malah nyemok.
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slide.
Do you know,
Mr.
Bernice?
Bernadotti, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked
Lo
the
nggak
place,
mungkin nggak kenal,
and
lukisannya
killed
ada di
him. The
elu.
thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation
kita
led
berantem.
me to a man from your
Gua tembak, gua
organization
tembak.
and thus to you, Mr. Bernadotti.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I
Kecil
need to
amat.
steal a
Itu yang
painting when I
pancing,
could
I
buy
could buy.
anyone I wanted?
Gak mungkin
Interestingly enough,
dong.
I spotted the stolen painting In your storeroom?
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I
Terus
have been
kenapa
sold
orangnya mati?
stolen
Pasti
merchandise.
dicuri dong,
I
nggak
presume you were hired by
mungkin.
the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation.
Selamat nge-weekly,
this
selamat
painting
ngebuat
is why you
link.
broke
Hah,
into my
link udah
office.
jadi.
So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the
belakang
artist,
nyemok
killer,
bae
and the
lu.
dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes.
You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's...
You have the photograph with you? How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do.
Dong, berantem lagi dong, biar tambah jadi TKP tempatnya.
What interest do you have in his downfall?
Hebat loh Sherlock, udah bunuh banyak orang tapi nggak jadi tersangka.
My business dealings are often... In return, I will make sure no one looks...
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true...
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends.
Gue harus ke envoy lagi dong.
In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
Why did you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses, all too often, disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled artifacts in your storeroom. You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing
Gak amat ngeliatin John ngerokok yang ngobrolin depan.
And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid. It's a pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me as much as he deserves.
So, in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
Hah. Evidence lagi gue. Ngobrol sama envoy juga anjay. Kurang bahan. Oh, kan nambah lagi. Pasti nambah, nggak mungkin cuma ini doang. Oke, ada 2 nih. Nambah lagi yang belum diomongin. So he can back up his info.
The front door's now open, sir. Bernadotte Limited will always look forward to your visits. Bernadotte Limited will always look forward to your visits.
I'm not sure I know. Terus kok gue masih ngobrol ya? Jadi fotonya harus gue serahin ke siapa? Pertanyaannya kan itu ya. Oh, ada foto.
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor. 1875. It's taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
Pilihannya 2 ya. Aduh, kasih ke envoy or kasih ke Bernardito. Evidence-nya juga udah tinggal ini doang. Ke Bernardito or ke ini.
You definitely don't have one.
Oke, gue harus ke envoy aja deh. Envoy. Yeah. Envoy di mana gue lupa. Envoy ini evidence-nya udah college semua. Galeri envoy di mana sih? Review scam. Lost memory. Gue lupa galerinya di mana. Ini mah rumahnya udah kebuka. Oh, ada sesuatu karena seru itu. Ntar coy, gue lupa di mana. Ah, di sini. Ini Bernardito. Evidence harusnya ini. Ini udah, apa yang belum di sini sebenarnya? Ini ya. Caravera. Ada. Old City, Bazaar Road and Hermes. Bazaar Road and Hermes ya, benar di sini. Mana tempatnya? Bazaar Road and Hermes tuh. Terus masih gue lupa depan ini ya. Here, right. Galeri yang menyeramkan.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned.
Lu bisa nggak sih nggak ngagetin? Kita tahu lukisan lu. Nggak usah diklik lagi. Bismillah.
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Ah, he's dead. How
Fair
very droll,
enough.
Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
And
He
he's
was
dead.
not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio, perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional
Mirip
sense of
ini
humor.
lu,
What
siapa?
about the stolen
Pemeran
painting?
Green
Have you located
Goblin.
it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
Where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Bernadotti? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then.
more.
I found the source of Mercurio's artistic inspiration. A photograph. What troubled me was that the sexual act captured was non-consensual.
She was violated? Dear God, how despicable.
Her abuser was in fact the British envoy. Mercurio took a picture of him committing the atrocity and then used it as artistic inspiration.
I had no idea a mere break-in would eventually expose such barbarity.
Mr. Vogel, I want you to make everything public, including the photograph. I'm sure you have a connection at the Cordona Chronicle.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, loyal to your own truth till the end. Yes, I'm acquainted with the staff of the Chronicle. The story is sensational, and will surely draw attention to the gallery. But you must be aware that exposing the scandal will further hurt the victim. Does that not bother you?
No matter what one does, the truth tends to come out, as well it should. I won't be the one to stand in its way.
Though it's only your subjective truth being exposed. Not that I'm judging. It's perfectly reasonable for everyone to have their own views.
When you called me, you knew exactly what you would...
Oh, but I'm not like you, Mr. Holmes. I cannot be sure of anything. Regardless, I must thank you, for art's sake. Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
What?
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Previously, you mentioned there may
Sekarang
have been
masalah
a note to
maknya
my mother's
mulai
passing
ada
and
lagi
consumption.
ya.
It appears you were right.
Oh dear. I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable. Thank you, Mr. Vogel.
Balik lagi kita ke rumah emaknya. Nah, tinggalkan tempat lukisan berbahaya ini. Kok ada suara jam? Oh, udah kelar. There something. My manner. Who is this? What is this? The box? Wah, tengkorak. Asem, dikasih tengkorak dong. Mermaid ceritanya.
Bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Kok ada mermaid? Patung mermaid, cuy. Kok jadi horor? Jadi horor.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue
Mycroft.
the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually.
Actually.
I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you.
Selalu nggak pernah akur.
All these years claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
Biasanya Mycroft udah tahu segalanya sih ini.
And that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has
Besok ikut ke, Bang?
everything
Main
I knew
Among Us, Bang?
about you and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
But balon gajahnya masih ada. Balon gajahnya masih ada di belakang. Pas ada patung mermaid di sini.
Just look at this thing.
Bener kan gue harus masuk ke dalam.
It's huge.
Alright. Berarti ada sesuatu yang hilang di lukisan itu. What is this? Wood strike smooth. What
I
yang
remember
apa lu
returning
pegang?
home with a pair of perfect
Kayu.
sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall.
What is this? Female fistel mysterious
It
death.
was a giant aquarium with a living
Oh, dia
mermaid in it.
beneran nemu mermaid
Impossible,
anjir.
it must have been something else.
Dry skeleton rock.
Oh,
Ah,
of course, that
patungnya
mortifying
doang.
hoax
Kirain nemu mermaid beneran.
space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
Apa ini? Family member, family
It was my
emaknya.
mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
Ada sesuatu lagi. Apa yang lu patahin? Tool of
I
obsessive glass.
inspected
Lu
it with a magnifying glass and was
nyari
able to
apaan sih?
confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened.
dihancurin.
I remember other people joined us.
What is this? People loot voice worker.
The workers took the artifact and placed it into the
Dibawa
cabinet of
akhirnya ya?
curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details.
Berarti ada ruangannya. Oh, di sini ruangan kekunci. Oh, benar kebuka dong. Right. What is this? Glass? Lamp? Assalamualaikum.
yes.
Ah,
Mother's
bener.
studio.
Pameran.
She was an authenticator, and this was her cabinet of curiosities.
Bear.
I never saw the
One of
point.
the most ridiculous
What does it
fakes
matter
I
if
ever
some
saw.
artifact
Sampai
Its
kering
owner
begini
insisted
patungnya.
it was a
It still
polar bear.
exists.
He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
Sampai kering cuy.
Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish viscount.
So he tried to persuade everyone that his forest was inhabited by these beasts. It would have been thrilling if it were actually true.
Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner
Holy
claimed to
Grail.
be the heir of King Arthur. Scarcely believable. He also insisted a deadly rabbit was hunting him.
Fake. What is this? Cozy blanket.
I remember this cozy blanket. It was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side.
Walkingston Holman, Chapter 1.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace Dioram.
Oh, Mycroft. You always act so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down.
Mayat mumi.
The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man. This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake.
Bagus banget fotonya anjir.
1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire. Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons.
Anjir. Bocah main barang berbahaya. What is this? Photocard.
So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand.
Surat.
Reliable and driven. I recognize Mycroft's handwriting. Officer Luciano J. Placido.
Luciano J. Placido. Locker. Lock.
This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no
Surat
success.
lagi.
Maybe today's the day. Oh,
Dated
sorry.
24th of April, 1869. Carefully opened.
Hate this. Nambah lagi.
Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
Jun, lu nggak bisa buka, Jun.
Closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
Bisa ada kunci dong di sini dong. Nggak mungkin nggak ada kunci. Catatan. Sertifikat.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. Wonder why someone would do that.
Book.
The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject.
Surat lagi. Dear brother, from Otto. Okay.
The full plate armor of Sir Robert Swanford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
I'm starting to remember something.
Nambah incidents lagi nih, evidence lagi nih. Baru ketemu 4.
And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had
Look,
horns
it's
on their
Roger.
helmets.
This jolly old man's well preserved.
Apa
Even looks
Gold Roger?
refreshed.
I
One
doubt
Piece
he drew
cuy.
much interest at the auction.
That's for
What
the
is
best.
this? There.
I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
That's
I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what. And we didn't have a great view from
Kagak
behind the
jatuh di
statue.
sini.
Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
Oh belum, ntar dulu coy. Itu cara kuncinya gimana nih? Oh, ini pengen bikin kayak rumah-rumahan. Salah.
Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
Kunci, bisa taruh kunci di mana sih? Ruangannya nikah. Not here. Surat.
Sharp and well balanced. It would be a pity to leave such a tool behind.
Bukan di sini juga. Ruangan sebelah. Oh, what is this? Landscape tiled.
The painting on the wall was slightly at tilt. He stopped and straightened it.
Cek ke sini. What is this? Perapian.
Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Terus kuncinya taruh di mana kira-kira?
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if...
Okay.
I think this is what we're looking for.
And what is this?
A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it?
Okay, I have the key. Kita turun ke bawah lagi. Buka pintu yang di sini.
We made it. So what's there?
Surat. Again, banyak banget surat yang gak bakal gue baca. Apaan?
This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research.
Botol.
Gifted by Queen Victoria herself.
Victoria. Dari Queen of Victoria.
Single malt whiskey. Mycroft's favorite.
Minumannya Marco Mycroft. Yang berkas.
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met.
Nah, tinggal kita kerjain yang ini ya. Right. Evidence dari mana? Dari luar, dari dalam. Banyak nih gue lihat-lihat nih. Kan nggak mungkin lempar-lemparan dari sini deh. Kalau ngebongkar sesuatu kayaknya dari sini deh. Sumpah lu seram amat sih main Spartanan. Ini nggak mungkin deh. Pasti dilarang. Ini kah? Ketahuan teks apa nih? Nggak mungkin. Lo nggak mungkin pakai baju kesatria. Minecraft pasti ngomel kalau begituan. Sok-sok jadi Spartan lo.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear
Do
that?
you hear that?
Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
Ngikutin Hololive?
So there
Tidak.
was a quarrel between them.
Aku tidak mengikuti holo-holoan. Childhood. Kebuka semua nih evidence.
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out.
Marcus. Kayak di belakang kah? Misi gue mau lewat. Oh, ada orang datang, sorry. Ada apa dengan Hololive?
Sherry, look. We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
Kenapa ya masalahnya Hans kah? Ya rame di forum Hololive ID. Apa Hololive yang kenapa? Ini front door anjir. Siapa yang datang? I heard noise from some else come to visit. Where? Ini front door kan?
A manor all to ourselves. Can you believe it, Sherry? I have so many ideas.
Dengar suara siapa, John? Front cuma ini doang front. So gue masuk lagi deh. Jangan-jangan gue dapet misi baru. Here's some. Oh ini paket. Astaga. From Vogel. Shit.
The mask. We can't miss this,
Wardrobe.
Sherry.
Berarti gue harus ganti pakaian dong. Prince of Darkness. Oh my goodness. Serem anjay. Oke. Kayaknya cuma bentar doang ini quest yang ini nih. Bisa nggak 1-2 jam? Jam 4. 1 jam, ya benar sejam. Semoga kelar cepat. Kalau enggak ya udah. Where? The court mention located on turquoise land cross from coordinate Abbey in northern Grand Saray. Land cross Grand Saray. Land cross, where is the land cross? What is it? Turquoise. What is T? Hebert, Knight, Tiny, Nova, Lemon, Incarnate. Kok nggak ada? Grand Survey from Cordona Abbey in northern, berarti di atas. Allen Cross di atas kan? Grand Survey ini. Oh, Grand Survey bawah. Perbatasannya ini berarti. Ha! Stes. Berarti ke sini dong. Taruh aja dulu sih. Kita jalan. Berasa main DVD. Malam-malam pakai ginian serem anjir. I am the assassin. Oh, here.
Welcome to the Manchos mansion.
Oh, bener dong pakai beginian semua. Pesta topeng ya.
Excuse me, just one question.
I can't help you with that, sir.
Kalau topeng gua kayak badut ancol sih. Lo ngasih topengnya nggak niat lo ya? Jadi kita masuk aja ke dalam.
Welcome, sir. I do hope you enjoy yourself.
Jadi kita benar-benar nggak tahu siapa dan apa pekerjaannya. Cara pakai topeng sama baju khusus ya.
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
Astagfirullah. Skip. Ini siapa?
What if I write an article about the
Double evidence. John X me looking for information, then Mike used write article exposing local elite.
Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
Kenapa kayaknya begini semua sih?
Bogle's gallery has a backer, I see.
Wah, foto-fotonya foto-foto hot semua dipajang anjir. Heh, lo juga pakai baju dong yang bagus. Enggak, bukan lo yang ini. Can change clothes here. Ya, I know it. Bukan buat gua. Ya udahlah, bodoh lah. Buat si John, kasihan si John gak ada pakaian. Ketahuan mukanya dong. Oh my god. Yuk, nggak ada macam-macam kan?
Sherlock, friend.
Oh, lo kenal?
I wasn't sure you'd come.
Kalau kenal, halo, hey ho.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
Ini Batman.
On offer today.
Pleasure.
Jadi Joker dia, jadi Joker.
Relief and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
Hari-hari Sherlock jadi Batman.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life.
Pertanyaannya bener-bener apa? Judul streamingnya bener-bener jadi apa anjir, kagak nggak mau jadi apa?
Physical aid to your moral consolations. There's wine, of course, something to smoke, or perhaps an artificial paradise. Yes, something more spiritual, a potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind is my most valuable asset and a finely tuned instrument I will not risk impeding its function. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? You've never cared about that before.
Termirip
Of course
apa
not.
ya?
Exposing a
Topengnya
lie,
ya?
revealing a fact,
Astaga.
that is a moral responsibility. That's not morality.
Yang emas
Morals
nih
are
mirip
what
sesuatu
happens
nih, kayak pernah
afterwards when
lihat
truth
siapa.
collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next? Visit the victims? Ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon. Show yourself a kindness.
If this solution truly does...
Yes, Sherlock.
Very good.
And now, our
Tolong itu lukisannya.
I just remembered. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the light.
Pardon? Altar room?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk.
Udah gitu doang. Kucingnya dipecat ya. Udah stop dia kerjanya, udah nggak boleh kerja lagi deh. Apa kok ada suara teriakan?
Nancho's had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
Kita ngupingin orang yang berbicara.
Nancho's had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt.
Hey, lu ngapain main di sini sama cewek-cewek? Hey,
hedonists.
Gara-gara skandal maling. Wah, maling coklat. Ada apa dengan maling coklat?
Do you know what was here?
Gua harus nguping lagi di sini. Segini ditunggu nguping ya.
Do you know what was here before Manchiosa's family bought it?
Bukannya udah kelar kasusnya ya? Apa belum sih? Aku lihat di IG kasusnya udah kelar.
I'll pin them down with this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
Thank you, Sherlock. Oke, sekarang kita ke tempat kunci.
Curtains do not guarantee privacy.
And you still
Bapak
need a
lupa
crack
refreshing,
despite being
ngintip-ngintip.
ethereal.
Library.
Well-known and recent plays to keep up to date with the current trends.
Dia
Codex Orchis. Romantic poetry and prose. These medieval botany and chemistry books look even more satanic than the occult ones.
Where is it? Kenapa kayak altar anjay? Kayak tempat what? Pembunuhan. Aku melihat sebuah mayat.
My God.
Dengan tubuh telanjang dada. Ah, my goodness. Nambah satu mayat lu. Gue boleh pergi dari sini gak sih? Kayak mayatnya nyusahin nih. Lihat logonya dulu
The
deh.
sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry.
Famous.
This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony.
Sebelum ngecek mayat, kita cek dulu kamar-kamarnya. Kok berantakan. Bakau.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion.
Kembakau masih nyala nih, lu nggak kecek. Apa itu? Darah.
An open wound spoiled the carpet.
Tongkat.
Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
Sama minuman. Minumannya berdarah lagi.
Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not so sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
Ini pasti nggak yakin ini. Pasti dia gebuk tapi nggak yakin. Evidence-nya banyak, darah lagi.
The wounded person was here for some time. A bloody handprint on an armchair.
Itu lu megang-megang daerah sini ya. Halo, Chan. Dia terluka nih.
A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
Halo. Halo kamu. Udah makan belum? Baru kita cek mayatnya. Tato lagi. Kak.
This crude tattoo partially covers a slave branding.
Logonya butterfly, tapi kalau dilihat bentuknya K. Alright. Palanya benjol.
Unforced trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage.
Ditusuk. Ini logo apa?
This golden handle has a blood stain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance.
Spesial edisi tumbal. Nggak tahu nih, kayaknya aliran sesat ini nih.
This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood.
Darahnya banyak loh. Pala udah, apa lagi yang kecil? Oh, nih perutnya, ini yang...
The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
Oh, tangannya megang sesuatu.
The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here.
Lu sape?
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees.
Pesugihan. Teratas dia lagi tuh.
It's part of the appeal.
Right.
Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more.
Wait, kenapa gua ketemu lu mulu?
I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather.
Jangan-jangan dalangnya ada hubungannya dengan kasus sebelumnya.
But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate.
Kayak ini buat ngebuka kasus ini, buat ngebuka halaman belakang rumah.
All right, pull yourself together, Werner. What is it about these nights?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are. Often with more stains than your typical crime scene.
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine. A scratch for every unconventional.
I imagine you're reeling from...
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release. Merely...
Or death.
Who is Mr. Machios?
The host of Cordonus, most memorable, and for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
How did find the body?
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol? I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire. And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh. Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him.
Ini Manchiosnya kabur.
We left the room and
Terus
locked
dia
the door.
ketemu.
Then,
filling time.
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Over and...
Were you well acquainted with...
Everyone knew Fabio. Or
wanted to.
He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of...
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many... Besides, after a few cocktails, they're in...
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's...
Tell me about the ritual.
Fertility ritual. There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil... Not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her.
But the...
I did not expect you to be such a prude. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer.
What's the rule?
When you discovered the body?
No, it was locked. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio...
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner.
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was...
Sacrificial slab. Fabio is died. Kasusnya kita tutup aja lah, boleh lah. Kayak ada hubungan sama di belakang sih. Pintu ini ketutup, berarti pintu yang ini.
Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
Ada pakaian yang hilang.
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing.
Ah, jangan-jangan.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note.
MK.
For my Fabio. Manchios. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio. The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me.
Would you recognize me in one of these?
Bisa ganti topeng apa? What is this? Darah.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Berarti orangnya masih di sekitar sini dong. Nggak mungkin dong orangnya keluar.
This is a different ritual.
Surat.
How can anyone accept such behavior?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
Buat basuh muka ya.
The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
Where? Oh, di luar. Alright, sorry. Udah kayak orang berdoa jadinya, cuy. Pasti kasusnya dari dalam sini. Kayak ditusuk, digetok. Atau digetok. Kayak kurang yakin nih orang yang digetok nih. Harusnya kebal. Oh enggak, kalau digetok nggak mungkin dia megang darah gituan. Kalau gini iya mungkin. Berarti ditusuk dia, bukan diketok. Orangnya lagi minum nih. Terus dia pegangan di sini kan. Tapi dia nggak mungkin bisa diri dong. Terus ditusuk nggak mungkin. Oh, bahkan dari pintu masuk juga ada. Orang lain pasti yang ngunci, bukan si Fabio-nya. Kemungkinan dia diseret. Habis ditusuk, lu diseret, udah mati. Pegangan, dikunci pintunya, lu ke belakang ganti baju. Enggak, bukan lu yang ganti baju, tapi orang lain. Orang lain cuci tangan. Nggak mungkin dong, Fabio-nya udah mati di sini.
You're not even trying, Sherry.
Ternyata bukan.
Concentrate.
Salah di mana kira-kira? Apakah botol jatuh ada hubungannya? Masa diketok? Diketoknya kencang gitu, terus diseret. Kemungkinan dia datang diam-diam kan? Oke, alright.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was
Dia
on the
megang
altar,
pakai
the murderer
tangan.
thrust the dagger into
Sidik
the
jarinya
victim's
ada
heart.
dong. Kenapa nggak lu
Symbols were
cari
drawn with
sidik
the blood.
jarinya?
The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
Ada dua ritual di sini. Cashbooknya nambah. Alright, cashbook.
I think I know what happened here. I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the...
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could
Lu sok geleng-geleng, mereka udah mati, udah ngasih
We
lihat-lihat.
have lost time, Werner, but you're...
Provide evidence.
The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars.
Golden
Can't miss it.
star.
But please be
Okay.
discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry.
Golden Star Max. Pasti di belakang ada sesuatu dong. Oh, ini jalan pintasnya ke sini. Oke, kita cari Golden Star.
My goodness, Sherlock. They made a blood fountain.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. The whores at a guess.
Tuh, ngapain sih John naik-naik ke atas? Monster. He's nervous. Yang emas-emas ini berarti dong. Berarti dia. Orangnya berarti di sekitar sini nih. Ngobrol sama siapa? Di sini juga udah gak ada apa-apa lagi. He is nervous. Cowoknya siapa?
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Gak mungkin dong, pasti semuanya dengar.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think...
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your...
Please, isn't this why you are...
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista.
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. What's that noise? What's going on?
Digerebek kok.
Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
Digerebek, semuanya digerebek. Kok bisa tahu? Ditendang anjir. Spartan lah. Ada yang diculik. Lagunya. Itu makanan saya. Halo, halo, halo. Lu duduk ngapain duduk di sini? Ngeliatin apa lu di sini? Ha, udah ditahan ternyata. Apa Sherlock ditahan? Lu kan punya orang dalam Sherlock. Panggil kakak lu buat bebas. Hah.
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience. Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I
Jadi kita
emphasized it in my
ditangkap.
statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we have Vogel in this letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig? Oh, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long
And his
nose.
long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the
Lu kan
youngest son of Violet
sebut nama
Holmes,
Mycroft,
Mr.
udah lu punya orang dalam.
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no.
Would you happen to remember anything?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I...
You must help me. It would mean a great deal to me if you could find any information.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table.
Find the murderer.
Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me...
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away.
Tangkap dia juga dong, dia ada di sono.
Trust me. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody...
Polisi zaman itu belum punya bisa ngecek sidik jari ya. Bete. Nggak bisa. Following report, kunci nomor 5. Ini buat bebas dari ini, gue tahu.
Back on track to solve the case.
Surat lagi. Pen surat lagi. 62 sampai 60. Nambah cash baru gue. Nih, Corona series. Wah, ini banyak, coy. Dah. Aduh, 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Ini cepat. Alright. Keluar. Santos is suspect.
I found Werner.
This area is restricted.
Nomor 5. Nomor 6. Cewek. Seven Drill. Ini kagak ada. Kosong. Oke. Ngobrol sama lu dulu berarti ya.
Werner, are you alright?
Oh, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go.
Ha! What did you expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obeys?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains...
Well done. If one has the power or will... I wonder, suppose you couldn't get... Would that not be just?
I suppose that I would do it. That is absurd. I can resolve the...
I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I can't follow you here.
I have learned who told the police about the crime.
Do I know him?
The major domo of the manor. He cleans up after you.
Well, then he does his job perfectly. Or...
Oke, Vogel udah. Kita ke tahanan nomor 5. Ayo, here. Siapa lu? Witness the possession.
Good day, Mr. Manchios. I am
Mr. Manchios. Oh,
investigation.
ini ya, topeng nervous ya.
And gentle.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will...
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of... Although I'm capable of replacing the entire department.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this...
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct?
I need to examine you first.
Observed. Seperti biasa. Hidungnya. Wears makeup. Pipinya plus expose some high dry. Tangan. Sepatu.
You are a little over the top with your use of makeup, Mr. Manchios. Is it so difficult for you to acknowledge your age?
Well, Sherlock, that's easy for you to say to an old man when you look as though you are barely 50.
But still, it shouldn't be an issue for someone of your status.
For people of my age, it isn't an issue.
Kayak harus nyari-nyari dulu di sini di
Younger
penjara.
ones can be so afraid of wrinkles.
Such a methodical man who cares for his body but miss...
I wouldn't call myself that. Silly little If I missed it, it wasn't important.
Panjang nih.
You'd better ask someone else.
Not here.
You'd better ask someone else. That's not something I know much about.
Do you have any idea who tipped off the police to raid your mansion, Mr.
Of course. It was you. I could even say you
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr.
What? Santos? But how could he even know? If he's not...
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
What should I call him?
You bought an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or...
It was pure business. Fabio escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my...
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful then. Tell me more.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. With my experience and his beauty, we could have...
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here.
Why did you invite Mr.
He's a pretty fellow. He's capable...
I suppose I can't...
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party.
I'd like to know who you usually invite.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an... There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties.
Oh, all true labourers, I see. What was Fabio like? His personality, his habits?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't even want to mention his beauty. Otherwise, I'll be so...
An expensive champion?
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment.
Possibly. What about the other guests? Were they used...
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from...
Alright, tambah lagi. Banyak banget kasus gua. Oke. Sekarang si lu mbak-mbak.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald.
Matista.
This body,
Yes, it's Matista.
Fabio knew the risks.
That's only your distorted understanding of safety. Officers here.
I'm just here to ask questions.
It will not bring.
Observe. Oh, tato. Udah nikah belum? Ah, nervous. Ngapain lu mau bikin luka lu, ha? Oke. Tanda K.
Fabio and yourself were slaves, am I correct? You couldn't help but...
The cuts.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. We ran away that day. We managed to get... Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at...
The bruises on your neck...
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite.
Nambah lagi. Nambah lagi. Oh, lebih banyak evidence ini, gampang. Oke, ada 2 tempat. Lu siapa? Ada siapa lagi ya? Cuma lu doang ya? Kaget kok hilang. Ah, si John ya itu ya.
This area is restricted.
Gak ada apa-apa. Santos evidence case. Bakal panjang nanti.
I've nothing to say about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. I've nothing to say about this.
Have you considered Mr. Santos Pinchetti as a...
The snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath...
Si kakek-kakek!
What's so special?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms,
Major
including
domo.
the one to the crime. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion.
Right. I'll send our men to... They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number 7. Mr. Pinchetti didn't...
Thank you.
Cuma gitu doang. Nambah lagi suspek gua. Room nomor 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Who are you?
A pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
I've already told him everything I know.
And I've read it. You forgot to mention that you hold the keys to the room where...
But I need to return to...
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Pinchetti.
Observer. Oh, si ininya ya. Dikit cuk. Yang diinin kah? Oh ini. Dasi. Sobek-sobek leher. Alergi. Lo alergi apaan cuy? Bahu kiri. Collar the ones. Celana. Apa sepatu? Sepatu. Stepan. Ada darah.
Is your greedy nature responsible for the lack of taste in it? The cheap makeup, shabby and dyed clothes?
The means to practice my profession are...
The parties overshadowed your state. In a decent household, you would be asked to...
Yes, his attention was undoubtedly concentrated on something other.
But one detail stands out on your dirty rags and shoes.
Oh, that.
Did you know the
Did you know Fabio?
Not personally. He was a frequent guest. Mr. Manchios always had a role for him.
And Matista? Was she as pop?
Don't tell her I said this, but I do not think so. Mr. Manchios used to see her as a worker. She...
Jangan jadi masalah cewek. Astaga, nambah lagi evidence. Banyak banget. Langsung ketemu semua anjir. Oh my god. Santos suspect in arrest room along with confidence below.
Please let me out.
Okay.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
Surat.
Mr. Manchios says that you begged him to be included in the heritage.
He's not only my employer, he's my uncle. And Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay. He's imprisoned me. The best I can hope for is
Is it that bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary at...
For God's sake. I'm forced to...
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
Nambah lagi, Tuhan. Alright.
Please let me out.
I know you can untangle this mess.
I know I can handle the news.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He can...
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He was only at...
I fail to see why you made...
He needed to know his place, so I taught.
Apakah kasusnya kelar hari ini? Kayaknya enggak. Evidence case number 6260. Evidence case berarti ruang evidence tuh di seberang.
Did you hear, Basilio? Did you hear?
Wife dissuspect, vendetta, dead in safe, rescada, under mattress, artful coronary.
In the police. Let's pretend
Nambah lagi case-nya. Astaga.
cops say we can just stand around and look confused.
Ini dia ruang evidence.
Good night. Your ticket, please, if you want me to help you.
Evidence.
I'd like to check the evidence from the...
And who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a
His partner, then?
Alright, banyak deh kunci.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring.
Cincin,
It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone.
sarung tangan,
A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials
KM.
KM in the corner.
Pencerutu
An
suntikan,
emergency kit for boredom.
surat,
Not the time for privacy.
book,
Werner's personal sketchbook.
sketchbook, alkey. Oh, ini apa ini?
A handcrafted charm that contains hair
Charm.
and nail clippings.
Okay.
Her key to the altar room.
One book. Kayak buku keagamaan gini.
That's not for bedtime reading.
Kayaknya bukan.
This ex libris belongs to Manchios Library. The book
Okay.
describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room. Thank you, officer.
Oke, udah mulai aman nih. Kayak kelar nih kasus yang ini. Kan evidence udah kekumpul semua. Oke, balik lagi berarti kita Ku cuma muter-muter ini doang. Matista back ke Matista dulu, Matista.
This book, The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake.
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio... I cast a spell on him and it...
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is...
If you say so. Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchos?
Oh. That could be.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt.
Was Fabio a...
Not at all. The old talk can be forgotten. And...
Do you practice?
For protection. For fortune. I have the gift. And I'm learning to...
Did you use your gift on...
But I suppose I'm not as skilled.
Orang tersesat. Oke, banyak banget.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
I have reason to believe that the intended...
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may...
I hope your attempt to put things straight...
You being on a bender?
Touché.
Tambah lagi kasus.
The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even recommend that some of my friends visit the place.
Please let me out.
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient.
What are you talking
Jarang-jarang gue pakai
Your
silent.
protege wanted a fresh...
Me? Hurt my star? Are you...
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny... Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's...
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. You better ask someone else. She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures.
Alright, tambah lagi. Letter from Fabio dari siapa pertanyaannya? Oke, satu conclusion. Kurt. Conclusion lain. Batista is murder. Aduh. Conclusion ada dua ya. Tapi ada yang kurang nih. Satu cashbook from Fabian dari siapa? Buat siapa? Mysterious address.
Please let me out.
Batista bukan. Gak ada lagi. Siapa yang ngirim dong? Gak, bukan Ekis dulu.
Let's continue our chat a little.
Sabar dong.
I appreciate your cooperation, Mr. Manchios. Wait just a moment, I have something to check.
Mysterious address. Ke polisinya kah?
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to me.
Do you really think I'm that naive?
Wah, kelar semua segini doang anjir.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy... It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him?
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
Nambah lagi main flash kah? Oke, aduh, kasusnya cuma ada 2 pilihan. Oh, ada yang ketiga. Santos. Word for uncle for years the pop up tennis stage. Ini dari Santos buat balas dendam. Nggak boleh pembunuhan, tetap pembunuhan, oke? Okay? After a year, this bar cannot justified. Dari si ini Kurt, dia predator, anjir, predator seks. Variar Fabio play Kurt Macintosh hurt and abuse interest in young performer. Anjay, gay. Satu lagi si Mastista. Gua aja dulu deh. Yang mau kita pilih adalah balas dendam, Santos, si orang gay dari Kurt, oh enggak, dia ngincar Matista atau pembunuhan Matista.
Continue our investigation while I look for the papers.
Siapa yang harus gua adili?
This area is restricted.
Stretch lantai bawah dari ini. Elu atau elu? Kayaknya nih si ini Dakart aja kali ya. Called ritual during the fight in the smoking lodge Fabio Matista. Kayaknya enggak deh. Kayak balas dendam deh. Which failed to notice bloodstain on the side he saw its screenshot of the murder. Guard Macintosh prepare. Siapa ibu yang harus kuadili? Cold Friends atau Santos Pitch may have to step out while discovering crime scene. Clean himself but after Fabio murder. Cap cip cup, siapa yang beruntung? Lu selamat. Cap cip cup, siapa yang beruntung? Lu selamat. Berarti lu yang jadi tersangka. Oh, di sini orangnya berarti. Lu yang jadi tersangka. Meta cap cip cup. Acquisition.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problem.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel. He had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you planned. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned.
You're
You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my...
You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you, since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding...
Early 60s.
Who hosts the cream of Cordona's society cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals...
Dasar predator.
Of course, one of them could have...
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did...
Fabio played with your feelings. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way that you
wanted.
You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You were passionate, and so you struck him. Once you understood your mistake, it was too late. You were afraid, so you staged the ritual. With such a story, you might be sentenced to a few years. It might clean your conscience, and soon the case will be forgotten.
No. No.
This is my decision. I'll talk to Constable Oswald to see what I can do.
Akhirnya balik ke polisi.
There's no fool like an old fool.
Kurt Machintos.
did it.
Machintos,
The young
Machios.
boy played with the heart of an old man. The latter couldn't. The evidence I obtained clearly shows that the quarrel was not.
Showing pity towards your own kind, Holmes.
All I'm saying is that prison won't take much away from an old.
Fine.
The big
Name
name
like that. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps
Dasar.
some document, the discarded document drawers where we
Naik jabatan lagi gara-gara gua kan lu.
labeled ones, including everything I've found is on the desk here.
Your persistence has set.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can.
Good luck, Constable.
Yeay. Nambah lagi Oswald finding akhirnya. Nah, ini Mother's Death ya. Oh, Police Archive. Di mana sih? Ini. Report number. Oke. Habis ini kelar. Bocah main berdua taman bagian belakang, oh enggak bagian depan. Masuk ke pintu. Ruang khusus.
The garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget?
Ya, gardennya kebuka.
All went wrong.
Dah, kelar.
It looks like you've almost found what you wanted.
Apa lagi? Sekarang pintu garden deh. Oke. Sini sudah mulai banyak.
Oh, you did it, Sherlock. The case
ketemu
is
dia lagi.
closed and all rewards belong to the winner.
Yeah.
Bravo.
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No
Unless
lies?
you're happy with your
You're
decision.
happy with your
Iyalah.
decisions?
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be...
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion. It's...
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to...
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still...
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat etiquette, religion, marriage. They're all lies told to preserve...
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without...
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
Oh yes. It's a struggle, but yes, we can...
What an endless fight it is. You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How... I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an act...
Alright, kelar. Maurice, God's item, a princess queens. Main place, wardrobe, ganti baju dulu dong biar enak. Topeng, nggak perlu ada topeng lagi kan? Ya, it's okay. Oh, si John dapat pakaian baru. Lu mirip kayak siapa, John? Adalah. Oke. Ya. Nah, kita dibalik logo kepolisian Cordona. Karena kita nyelesain semua kasus. Oke, berarti sampai sini dulu. Ya. Yeah. Kita ngelarin 2 kasus. Kasus yang kemarin-kemarin tuh yang masalah pembunuhan lukisan dan pencurian. Dan satu lagi masalah satanis anjay. Note, masalah ritual-ritual tak danta, ternyata pemiliknya langsung yang melakukan pembunuhan dengan mengorbankan teman kita, siapa tadi, Venger, I don't know. Dia naruh surat di tasnya, di dompet, I don't know di mana, di pocket. Nah, jadi dia masuk penjara juga, tapi bebas. Dan kita udah kebuka satu map lagi. The Garden. Mungkin di next lagi kita bakalan jadi di Garden. Kita kelarin masalah kematian emaknya ya. Dan rumah-rumah ajaib. Oke, sampai sini dulu. Kita dapat 7 like. Thank you udah mampir. Thank you. Thank you. Mas Ripal, Faizal, Sorai, Noah, Wahyu. Sampai jumpa di streaming berikutnya. See you next stream. Oh iya, besok bakal main Among Us. Insyaallah ya. Kalau nggak ada halang. Nggak. Insya Allah kita main. See you next stream and bye-bye.